According to Januski and Melinda, educational technology is the study and ethical practice of facilitating learning and improving performance by creating, using, and managing appropriate technological processes and resources. Our goal in this presentation is to analyze this definition and share our vision as to what it means, as well as how all of the pieces fit together. In order to do this, we will use the metaphor of a ship. First, we'll start with the anchor that holds our ship in place when it is at port. These are the philosophical frameworks or learning theories that ground instructional design in the field of educational technology. As we'll see, the development of new computers and technology have and will continue to change the theories and pedagogy we lean on most heavily, as well as the ways in which instruction is designed. There are three major learning theories that we will discuss today. They are behaviorism, cognitivism, and constructivism. Behaviorism is based on the belief that knowledge is gained through experiences and was developed in the early 20th century through a variety of animal experiments. In this model, motivation is often extrinsic. When a student demonstrates that they have learned something through correct answers, they receive a positive response, and when they provide incorrect answers, they receive a neutral or sometimes negative response. There is little to no regard as to how the student arrived at the correct or incorrect answer. Many drill and practice software programs are based on this theory, and while they may be helpful when it comes to learning basic facts and following specific procedures, critics argue that they engage students in very little, if any, higher order thinking. Cognitivism is based on the belief that knowledge is gained through both experiences and thinking. As Zertmer and Newby state, cognitive theories focus on the conceptualization of students' learning processes and addresses the issues of how information is received, organized, stored, and retrieved by the mind. Learning is concerned not so much with what learners do, but with what they know and how they come to acquire it. An example of software that aligns with this school of thought is intelligent tutoring systems. Constructivism, which gained popularity in the 90s, is based on the belief that knowledge is constructed by the learner through experiences. According to EDET801, when explaining the constructivist school of thought, learners build personal interpretations of reality based on experiences and interactions with others, creating novel and situation-specific understandings. Instruction can foster learning by providing rich, loosely structured experiences and guidance, such as apprenticeships, coaching, and mentoring, that encourage meaning-making without imposing a fixed set of knowledge and skills. As Ertmer and Newby point out, in this school of thought, learners create meaning rather than simply acquiring it. Examples of classroom activities grounded in constructivism include problem-based learning tasks, as well as virtual and augmented reality simulations. Learning that is based in constructivist theories is both personal and social. When technology is incorporated, students can demonstrate individual learning using their own computer, but they can also learn in a more social environment through the use of tools such as discussion boards, collaborative documents, email, and video conferencing applications. Many forms of instructional technology that we find in schools today incorporate the core beliefs of a number of different theories. As EDET801 states, ultimately, as with all decisions about pedagogy, which is best depends on the instructional situation, the goals of the learning experience, the attributes of the students, the type of content, and the time frame and resources available. Just as a navigational chart helps a ship captain chart his course, instructional design is important in helping instructors chart the course for teaching and learning and develop experiences that are engaging and effective for their learners. When designing instruction, it is critical that educators begin by determining the needs of their students. Technology affords educators the ability to truly personalize learning for students and ensure that they have a variety of experiences and are able to learn at their own pace. Instructional designers in the field of education technology must consider several components when designing educational experiences, including learning theories, as discussed previously, pedagogical strategies and tactics, learning types, lesson format, and the integration of educational media and technology. With the advancements in technology, some researchers, including Rod Sims, have developed revised instructional design models that shift the focus from teacher-centered instruction of specified content to student-centered environments where the focus is on learners and application of knowledge. In these environments, the learning is personalized and more relevant to the student, and teacher becomes more of a facilitator. It is also important for instructional designers to carefully select the educational media they will use in their learning environments. Reiser defines instructional media as the physical means other than the teacher, chalkboard, and textbook by which instruction is presented to learners. This can include hardware, software, text, graphics, audio, and video. In 2019, Bates proposed a framework called the Sections Model for selecting educational media and technology for use in learning environments. Section stands for students, ease of use, cost, teaching functions, including pedagogical affordances of media, interaction, organizational issues, networking, security, and privacy. While this is not the only model that exists, it is particularly effective in that it takes into account rapidly changing learning environments, the development of new technologies, the need for different media in different contexts, among other important modern-day considerations in the field of education technology.
Like a sail that moves a vessel, technological processes and technological resources help drive educational technology. According to Shays, Gonzer, Muhans, the consensus seems to be that the global digital agenda highlights the need for a change in educational institutions' pedagogical model to meet the demand of the new knowledge society. Such a change would aim to achieve greater flexibility and to adopt learning technologies to modernize and improve teaching processes and learning in formal contexts. In order to facilitate this evolution into the global digital agenda, we must focus on our pedagogical approach to the technological process in education. This theory-based framework from DeBob illustrates the e-learning process that cycles around pedagogical models, instructional strategies, and learning technologies. The framework, in conjunction with self-awareness, pacing, and natural curiosity, are the main ingredients of a transformative student-centered instructional model that will lend itself to the global agenda. Using online learning management systems and hybrid settings, students can facilitate their own learning process and have access to much more information than just what's presented by the instructor. However, as highlighted in the theory design framework, learning technologies include, but shouldn't be limited to, asynchronous and synchronous communication, hypermedia and multimedia tools, web authoring tools, course management systems. Resources, including hardware and software, are vital, but should also include personnel and instructional staff. Now that the different components of the ship have been explained, it is time to put all those working pieces together and sail into our understanding of the field of educational technology. The Association for Educational Communications and Technology describes the purpose of educational technology as the facilitation of learning and improvement of performance. Research demonstrates, however, that technology plays a critical role in student learning. Large-scale studies have shown the significant increase in achievement scores of students using technology as a learning tool. The use of technology in education has provided students with access inside and outside of the classroom, and that has resulted in increased self-motivation for learning. Educational technology has made new representation of information available to students, which invites a new eagerness and zest to how students approach content. However, it is essential to point out that although it is generally agreed that the application of educational technology improves educational quality and accessibility, it is not always equitable. Much like the crew of a ship, facilitators to educational technology wear many hats. Seen as a vital resource, many teachers, instructors, and specialists have held the title of facilitator to much of the educational technology used in present-day education. This proves to be a challenge when faculty employ technological resources in a way that mimics traditional instruction and/or struggle with how these resources play a role in preparing students globally if used at all. Teachers effectively use technology based on their pedagogy, content knowledge, beliefs, and the resources that are available to them. They should have the necessary understanding and expertise to utilize those technological resources to their full potential. Computer-based learning has increased prevalence in education, with its heightened usage as a result of the global pandemic and the immediate demand for online learning. Researchers continue to look for ways to leverage emerging technologies that will enhance learning experiences and learner performance.
While it is the responsibility of the entire crew to help manage resources on the ship, and it is invaluable when they provide feedback as to the effectiveness of resources, it is the captain who oversees all of the ship's operations. In the field of educational technology, it is the role of all educators to help manage, evaluate, and research current technologies. However, this is often overseen by a leader in the field. It is important to have a system for managing educational technology in a learning environment. This ranges from keeping up with the devices, selecting, purchasing, and organizing hardware and software programs, maintaining the network, protecting user data, and training users, among other responsibilities. Managers, instructional designers, trainers, content specialists, and others often work together when it comes to selecting hardware and software applications for a school. A major piece that must be considered is the relationship between the costs and learning outcomes that the technology is expected to assist students in achieving. Organizations want to be sure that they are spending their limited budgets on the most effective tools. Selecting newly developed hardware and software can be tricky because while it can be beneficial to be on the cutting edge of new technology, there is often very little data as to the effectiveness of the new technology on which to base decisions. A continual evaluation of resources is essential to making sure that the technology is effective in helping teachers and learners reach instructional goals. It is important for practitioners to not only conduct their own formal and informal research as to the effectiveness of technology and implementation strategies in their learning environments, but to also remain aware of the research being conducted by other experts in the field. Research in the field of educational technology has historically lagged behind the rapid rate in which technology has been developed and implemented in educational settings. Current research trends include a focus on learning processes, teacher use, understanding and willingness to use technology, and student motivation and engagement using technology in various learning environments. Protecting user data in a learning environment is also essential and part of the management in the field. Many sites and programs collect large amounts of student data, often much more than what they really need. It is important to be aware of the information that is collected from each resource and to be vigilant in protecting the privacy and rights of all users. Training educators in the use of technology resources that are provided to them is also a vital part of management. Educators must understand not only how to operate the resources, but also how the resources will impact teaching and learning in their environment. Instructional goals should always drive the use of technology, not the other way around.
Ethics in education are like the moral compass that governs a person or a body. The Coast Guard is a branch of the military that ensures safe and lawful commerce and activity of America's borders and maritime environment. Much like the duty of the Coast Guard, many institutions, communities, and professional associations follow a code of conduct, ethics, or morals to ensure safe and lawful activity. Many ethical issues emerge involving the study and usage of educational technologies and resources, and more famously, the digital inequity and the implementation and usage of technological resources. AECT's Code of Professional Ethics frames 3 commitments aimed to assist all participants of the educational and technological community in ethical conduct: a commitment to individual learners, a commitment to society, and a commitment to the profession.